There's one thing I can't be objective about, and that is my kids. That's why I've always had such admiration for Little League coaches and junior high coaches. It doesn't matter if it's fifth grade girls cross country. Parents are not objective. They are absolutely sure their little Susie and their little Bobby is going to be unbelievable. So Tom Brady's dad was talking about Roger Goodell, and he came out this weekend and said basically Roger Goodell shouldn't be allowed on the same stage as my son Tom Brady. And my takeaway is parents are not objective. They're not. If you're not a parent, it's hard to explain. I've always said the old joke about dads and their sons. At 5 years old, we think our son's going to be president. And then by like 18, we lower our standards and hope he's just president of maybe a frat house. And then by like 29, we're just hoping he stays out of jail. So our standards do fluctuate, but we never lose the love, and we're always overly optimistic. I remember when I was a kid, and my mom was real quiet, kind of a reticent British lady, right? And I was in a barber chair, and I'm getting a haircut, and my mom I never saw a temper. I never saw any of that stuff. So the barber was an older gentleman, and I'm getting a haircut. And when I was a kid, you'd walk into a barber shop, and there would be a bunch of pictures on the wall of men's haircuts. And my mom would walk in, and she always would say, when I was a little kid, like 4 or 5, 6, 7 years old, give him a Kennedy. And Kennedy was John F. Kennedy. And then it'd be like a picture, the classic, haircut, kind of the business look. She could give him a Kennedy. And so one time, this barber who was older, like 60 or 70 years old, started using the razor in the back, and he gashed my neck. And I'm like a 6-year-old kid. I think I started crying. And I remember feeling the blood running down. Let me tell you something. My mom didn't have a violent bone in her body, and I'd never even seen a temper, or don't recall ever seeing a temper. But a woman scorned, if you want to get in trouble, get between a mother and a father and their children, that barber, I think, quit. I think he quit the next day after 70 years of being a barber because he ripped a hole in my neck and it started bleeding. And I remember, thinking years later, like my mom was out of her skin. Like, it wasn't my mom. And she was just frothing. She was going crazy on this 70-year-old shaking barber. And so when I have kids, there have been times I've lost my cool with my kids, and I've just come to terms with, you're just not objective. So Tom Brady's dad, he's a dad. And that's just the way we are. And we're not reasonable, and we're not rational. But any parent out there knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Brought to you by 84 Lumber. Are you 84 material?